Sound speeds?
Camera speeds.
10 alpha, take 1, Mark.
And is a never
Thank you. Got it.
mentioned and never to be mentioned. Action. Der Führer. Kommt doch nicht. Es durchgehalten zu haben. Und dabei von menschlichen Ausnahmeschwächen abgesehen, anständig geblieben zu sein, hat uns hart gemacht. Und ist ein nie genanntes und niemals zu nennendes Ruhmesblatt. Das hat er mir gesagt. Ich habe durchgehalten. Ich habe durchgehalten! Kann mir das nehmen?
Cut. Awesome.
If you have not seen it, Justin Robinson's new short film, Guest of Honor, is up on our channel right now. So again, if you did not see that, stop watching this and go watch that first, because we're about to take a look at the behind the scenes. So of course, we're gonna be spoiling a lot. But Josh and I were able to go out to North Carolina, and it was the first time I was able to just sit there and watch Justin direct a film. And I was really impressed with how he handled his cast and crew. And of course, the whole thing was only even made possible by the amazing partners that came on board to help us make this film, which was Aputure, DD Mics, and Lens Pro to Go. Lens Pro to Go hooked us up with a ton of gear, including the cameras and lenses. Aputure sent over a bunch of lights for us to use, which we talk about Aputure all the time on the show because the light quality that they have is amazing. Brent was able to utilize all of these lights to really pull out a pretty amazing look with this film. Then with DD Mics, it was the first time that we had used that gear, so we did a lot of testing before time, and we were all really blown away by the quality that we were getting from these things. It's like the audio version of what Aputure is doing. Really low prices, fantastic for indie filmmakers, but not skimping on the quality at all. I think the S-Mic 2 goes for somewhere around $430, but quality-wise, it easily stands up to mics $1,000 or above. So again, a huge thank you to them. It's companies like that that really see the value in doing films like this and bringing the education to you guys that makes the whole thing possible. So again, a huge thank you to them. There's also a 23-minute long version of BTS from the film on Justin Robinson's channel. We put a link in the notes for that below, so if you dig what you're about to watch, definitely check that out as well. But now I'm gonna shut up and get right into it.
So it was October 2014. We had just wrapped a short I made called Popeye the Pizza Man. And I think I was on the high of wrapping a film, wanting to make the next film. And somehow I found this article online about Hitler's taste testers.
Camera speeds.
Sound speeds?
7 take 2, Mark.
The idea of people possibly eating their last meal of their life. What would you talk about at that table?
I think it's just really ambitious to try something like this, where it's black and white, it's period, all in German.
Well, first of all, what struck me was that I've never read anything like it.
It was just so tight. It was this very contained piece that felt larger than the sum of its parts. The themes just really jump out in this one. And just how he's shooting it, the way he's going about it, everything felt so perfect.
So like any film, but especially this one, finding the right location was absolutely vital. Thankfully, I met Matt Wins, who runs the River Place, which is a soundstage and event venue.
It took a while. It was a process to find the right space for him, but we have 103,000 square feet under roof and lots of different spaces, and we were able to find a great location.
So originally I was going to build a set there, but that quickly became too expensive, so Matt showed me some other spaces and some other rooms, and that led us to the Baker room. And when you open the door, it's this very simple room. It was under construction. The carpet was ripped out. It has this like 2 shaded paints in between this wood trim. And it was exactly what I wrote. All I'm gonna do is put some stuff on the wall and put a table and call it good. One of the big reasons for shooting at the River Place was the fact that I would never have to company move. The ability to shoot the cafe scene in the church lobby, and the ability to shoot most of the film in Jim Baker's dressing room, and then out behind the building are the woods where we did the whole scene. And that's like the only way that we shot on the schedule that we had.
There's a combined 30 years of lighting experience in the air making this happen for us right now. So just knowing that we're resting on some strong and beautiful shoulders, it's really putting my mind at ease.
Our main set was lit with a 6x6 softbox that contained a black-white griff where we bounced in 8 quasars, 2 quasars per side. We were able to turn off to taste depending on camera angle. We had a duvetine skirt around the sides, and then we diffused all of that with unbleached muslin.
Lighting a movie in black and white is a little misleading these days because you're really lighting it in color still and then in post changing it over to black and white unless you choose to go with the film, and we're shooting on Alexa. For us, it was really more of figuring out in the transition with the LUT how we could color stuff during the shooting that would add to the midtones and into the darkness. And also because of the time period of the piece, it was chosen to give it a little bit more of a gritty feel by not being as beauty lit. We're still softening our lighting, but we're choosing to put it in kind of a harsher zone on the face. So we looked at Silvio and some of the girls and figured out what would not necessarily make them unattractive, but just the right spot to add to visually what's going on within the script itself.
The lights that we used in the ceiling on the wall were Aputure Mini 20s.
You know, it's an unnatural feel to have lights specifically spotting in the background, but you'll see, even in historical stuff, that there's usually something highlighting things that are important to people. And so for Silvio's character, we felt that in this location, it's kind of a little shrine, and that was something that interested Justin.
The way that I shot the opening scene was, how do I reveal each piece of information in this world? So here's this food, here's who it's about, oh, here's who it's also about. Okay, so stakes are really high.
Der Führer kommt! Große Dinge erwarten dich. Du musst bereit sein dafür. Das hat er mir gesagt damals. Ganz am Anfang. Nun kommt schon. Esst. Keiner mag eine schwache Frau. Verdammt nochmal! Ja, wie viele Versuch ist das jetzt? Finden Sie ihn!
Justin is so organized, it's crazy. All the shot lists, you know, like he had everything storyboarded out. He has drawings of it, you know, of everything.
Action.
Justin's a director with a strong vision. And what comes with that often is a strong sense of camera direction, a strong sense of composition, and a strong sense of lighting. What that creates is an environment of precision and efficiency. So when we're developing shots together, it's a joy for me to work with a director who knows exactly where he wants to go and how he does it. Because when we can build on those foundations, it's when we're in the moment and live that we can start to strip them away if we need to.
Do you want to start this all over? Like all the ideas were yours for BTS? When Justin and I have collaborated in the past, it's been from a static camera. So when we've looked at things together in the future, we've always talked about what camera moves matter. And one of the things Justin
brought to the table right at the top was zoom shots. And there was moments to use a Dana dolly. Joe! There were moments to use Steadicam.
I've been seeing his short projects for years, and I've always wanted to be a part of one. And he said, hey, I got one shot. And I was like, I'm in.
Those aren't always featured elements of the things we've collaborated on, but we also knew that a core of this project would also be from a still position as observers.
Let's go back to one, Stephanie, one more. You know, sometimes if you get in an argument and you say something, but you know, sometimes later we think, oh man, I would have said this. This is exactly what you wanted to say now, and it's exactly what you would say in 5 minutes or 2 hours.
There's no questions.
There's no questions.
Yeah,
This
thought
is
about
absolutely-
everything.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay, it's blue. It's not green, it's not yellow, it's blue.
Love that. Thank you.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Action.
Justin understands the actor. He's not just a techno guy. I mean, he knows his equipment too, but he primarily has a way to not just convey his vision to the actor, but he has a way to get into the actor's head and uses certain methods, which I found unique and very interesting, to, you know, plant seeds in the actor's head.
For example, like scene 3 was Steph making her take off her shoes and socks and wearing wet socks, because I don't think anything is more infuriating than walking around or doing life in wet socks. For Fritz, I knew that in scene 10, I wanted to make a booklet of just some really jacked up images because I wanted to show him what was in his mind.
It was very unique at times and inspiring.
Ich habe durchgehalten. Ich habe durchgehalten!
I think a lot of great directors do whatever it takes to connect with their actors. And I think Justin's not adverse to putting himself in situations where he might look like a fool to the rest of the crew, but in the end he connected with an actor in a serious way.
You know, there's a lot of people just trying to make something that they think other people will like. Justin could not care less, and that's what I love about him. It's not a negative thing, it's not a lack of empathy, it's the abundance of it, because he's just looking at humanity as a whole through his eyes, and there's so much love behind everything that he does that it's not this whole, I'm just trying to be, you know, controversial or something. I don't think that's a part of his thinking either. I just don't think he cares about any of that. It's, here's my story, here's how I see the world, and this is something I gotta say.
Whoa. Mic check.
Justin warned you about me, right?
See you later, Bill.
Okay, yeah, that's enough of that.
I use this on my head.
Hey, Mr. Coffee.
Hey, get out of here! What I tell you about camcorders in my face? Come on, will you?
Although you're talking to me, I'm gonna do it just like this. Just to the audience.
Before I met Justin, I had a lot of hair. Went bald doing all these short films.
Right from the left? In that closet to the left, one more. There's a guy in the closet. Let's go.
I just ripped my pants. Are we getting this? I want dedication on the screen.
If you can work on this kind of content and still feel like you're having a great experience, I think that speaks volumes to his ability as a director.